Jackie, you have experience. Jackie, could you send the minutes? That is the minutes for the.
The minutes were sent out, yes,
They were sent out, I don't.
correct, they were.
They were sent out yesterday?
No, they were sent out today.
Today. Oh.
They're also up on the website.
Was that the same email that had the agenda? I thought it was the same email. It was in
It was.
the agenda email.
We had the agenda several times, so I just wanted to see where they were. Okay, I found it in one of the incarnations here.
Folks, 7 o'clock, I'll call the Woodstock Town Board Business Meeting of October 22nd to order. And first order of business, stand pledge of flag.
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a first public hearing at 7:05, so I'll just run through a couple of resolutions before we get to that. Be resolved to accept minutes for meetings held on September 17th, 2024, and October 1st, 2024, and October 8th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved to authorize payment of vouchers in the amount of $326,229.40.
Second.
All in favor?
Discussion. I'd like to pull out voucher number 105893. Again, this is a voucher for Gerben Ferlazzo for work that is taking place in our police investigations. And I will say we need to immediately fire the employee, and if they need to pursue any further this litigation, they can do it in court. But we don't need to be paid to go back and
Okay,
forth
is
and
there
back
a
and
second
forth.
for Bennett's?
I'd like to second that, yes.
All in favor of pulling out? Nay.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye. Nay.
All in favor of the resolution?
Aye.
Aye.
The next is water sewer.
Sorry, what just happened?
Did you just go fire?
Again, yes, I did.
Whereas Todd Rundgren is a pioneering creative force in the establishment of the Bearsville Center Utopia video, and whereas Todd Rundgren is an important contributor to establishing Bearsville and Woodstock as a global nexus for all types of music, creativity, and whereas Todd Rundgren recorded and produced numerous iconic albums in Woodstock and at the studio on New Hollow Road, and whereas Todd Rundgren has been a pillar of musical and technical creativity for over 50 years, inspiring generations of artists. And whereas Todd Rundgren's Spirit of Harmony Foundation advocates for the moral imperative of music education for the neurological, social, academic, economic, and artistic development of youth, regardless of socioeconomic status, geographic location, or ability. Now for the resolved, Town Board, Town of Woodstock, New York, presents key to the city and right Todd Rundgren. And be it further resolved, the Town Board declare October 23rd, 2024 to be known as Todd Rundgren Day in Woodstock. Be it further resolved, the Town Board declare Mink Hollow Road to be renamed Mink Hollow Road for the dead.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations, Todd.
Excuse me, Bill, did you say psychotic albums?
Yeah. I did, it's. Be resolved to adopt the preliminary 2025 budget. Be further resolved to schedule a public hearing for the preliminary budget 2025 for November 6th, 2024 at 6 P.M. Como offices 45 Como Drive, Woodstock, New York, and be further resolved to authorize the town clerk to post said notice in the town's official newspaper.
Second,
All in favor?
This budget contains tax increases that are not necessary. It underestimates the amount of revenue that's coming in. And it continues to pay $10,000 additionally that it should not be paying to the supervisor's budget for his salary. I'm going to vote against this budget.
All in favor?
aye.
No.
No.
Okay, thank you.
No, you can still do this one.
Oh, yes, okay, we do that one. Whereas it was determined by the water sewer superintendent that the water Christ Lutheran Church, 28 Mill Hill Road, account number 435/487 did not enter the wastewater collection system, but rather into the ground, therefore be it resolved to charge the sewer the average amount charged in the previous 4 quarters and credit the remaining sewer charges in the account's sewer portion of the subsequent billings. Be it further resolved to charge or credit the full amount for the water usage.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're good, Jackie.
At a meeting held on October 8th, the town board scheduled a public hearing for the water district budget for the year 2024. All persons will now be heard.
Anybody want to talk about water?
Yeah,
The budget.
well, it's water, right?
The budget, it's a budget hearing, that's what we're here to talk about.
So you make us wait until the end. Okay.
Nobody has it?
Yeah, I'll speak to, now this is the water district budget,
Correct,
okay, this includes testing
yes,
of the water, for usual PFAS and PFOS.
and I've
Does it
actually,
include any ground testing, like around the well?
we have just general testing, and I increased that, $4,000.
Now, why is this just for the water district? Why shouldn't it be for the entire town? Don't we need to determine where the PFAS contamination is?
It's different. Bennett, it's totally different. You should know that.
This is just for the water.
Yeah, the budget, that's what I'm saying.
Why it includes
Why-
straight.
Why shouldn't that be in the general fund budget, not the
We
water?
are source testing, Bennett, by narrowing down
Where's it coming from? Which
That's-
budget?
that's-
It's coming from the water district budget, or is it coming from the general fund budget? You said it's coming from the water
This is
district
for the
budget.
water district budget that we're discussing.
So shouldn't we source test to see if we need to do this
We
for the
are-
entire town?
We are source testing to find out.
And who's paying for that?
These are the tests we've been doing.
Is that the general fund budget of the water?
The water.
Is this a water district problem, or is this the town of Woodstock?
Do you have a question about the budget specifically?
Yeah, specifically, does this include water testing for source that is
It
only?
does not include water testing for the entire town. Okay, does anyone else, excuse me, does anyone else have a question about this budget?
Does it include quarterly testing?
Yes. Of the wells, Terry?
Just alone? Can we get a discount since there's questionable?
No,
So you said that you're doing source testing and that the money for that's coming from this. Could you tell us?
we
what
are
you-
testing, we
source
narrowed down and are working on testing the various wells to determine which wells have issue and which ones don't.
Okay, but that's not source testing. Source testing is finding out where the contamination is coming from.
We
Are
are
you
working on
doing-
that.
Are
Do
you presently doing?
Do you have a question about the budget?
Sure, because I want to know, you say you're working on that. Is the money for that kind of testing coming out of
That's-
this budget?
That's here, we're testing the wells and that money is
I'm
coming.
not
out.
asking about
Okay,
testing wells.
well, that's what I
I'm asking
asked.
about the source, this is all
He's
source
not
testing.
answering your question. He's not saying whether or not we're doing testing for the source.
All right, what about, Bill, another question about the budget?
No, we're-
is, Are you doing anything to filter the PFAS out of the water
No,
that exists
not
there now?
Not yet.
Why not?
Because it's below the standard.
No, it's below the MCL, which is the maximum contaminant level, which means the maximum amount we
Okay,
are
thank
allowed
you,
to
thank you.
ingest
This is,
before you're required to
Okay,
do
thank
something.
you.
It
whereas
doesn't
the
make
water,
sense.
excuse me,
It doesn't make
Question.
sense.
Question.
no, whereas the water district budget
It's a
for the year
hearing,
twenty
not allowed
twenty-five
to finish.
is $276,606, and whereas the public hearing is held on October 22nd, 2024, at 7:05 PM in the Woodstock Town offices and via Zoom, therefore be it resolved to close the public hearing, be further resolved to finance the above cost of the water district in the following manner: $194, $194,172 in metered sales. $56,506 for meter charge, $5,500 from interest and penalties, $300 from special reads, $3,000 from interest and earnings, $17,128 from unexpended fund balance. Be it further resolved to set a $19 base fee for each meter for each quarterly reading. Be it further resolved, the user rate should be 50 cents per 100 gallons. And be it further resolved, the user rate shall be effective beginning December 1st, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Discussion. I'm gonna vote against this because you haven't answered questions from people in the audience at a public hearing.
Okay,
And you also have refused to answer the question as whether or not there is going to be tracing testing.
we're tracing. All in favor?
No.
No.
Okay, there's another resolution, is it 710 yet?
Yes,
Let me just read one more resolution here, and then we'll go through much. Here resolved to authorize the supervisor to sign the phase 1 pre-referendum services contract with the Kinney Design Group.
Second.
Discussion.
Discuss.
and was that continued on or is
No,
that
no,
something
no, that
separate?
was
Okay.
One liner I said.
So I read what you sent and it also locks us into percentages that I think should be negotiated for future phases. And the phase 1 money and the phase 2 money and then the engineering money, all of these things need to be negotiated. This is just their opening.
We're only gonna,
Request.
we're only gonna sign for the first phase.
Well, the thing that we were sent had all of the phases in it.
It
And
spells it out, but the
So-
contract is only for the first phase,
Just for phase.
for the next phase, so
Yeah,
that,
we don't want to be locked into.
no, couldn't agree more.
well, I understand that there was some question from people in the committee itself about this.
You're correct, Bennett. We have the same question. We have a call out to the Finney group. And I made sure with Bill's office today that he's not going to sign this document unless it very explicitly restricts the expenditure to phase 1 only.
Yeah, that's,
And we have the same exact concern that you have. So thank you for bringing
and
that up.
then I clearly said the phase 1 pre-referendum services.
I'd rather table this until we get them to agree that that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, can we?
What
do
if they
that?
don't agree to it?
Well, then I don't
They
sign,
signed nothing.
then I sign up.
I move that we table this until we take out.
If you want
the other
to
phases.
stall, that's
Yeah,
fine
I'd
with
like to
me, everybody
second-
else
I'd like
wants
to
to
second
stall?
that.
No, I do not want to stall.
Okay.
No one's stalling.
stalling,
We're
it's
just asking you to do your job.
Yeah, Bennett, that's hilarious. You wanna come to a few more meetings if you wanna talk about doing your job. Peter.
You are doing your job. Good job.
Peter,
If we would have a
Yeah, that's
task
the
force,
same person.
but we would ask that you pass the resolution tonight. We've already had the same concern, which will be addressed that you brought up, and because passing it tonight will empower us to go forward with our work, including our fundraising, which is the thing we really want to have next.
Yeah, and the resolution clearly says, we're only agreeing that Bill will sign phase one, that's the resolution.
It's not
says.
giving
And
you.
I just want to say one more thing, I saw Linda had a sign stop workplace hostility, and there's a lot of hostility coming from the other end of the table, just saying.
Oh, please. Wait a minute, you've made allusions to these phases, is that public documentation? Are these phases outlined, what they include?
Yes, you can say, if you come in tomorrow, we'll give you a copy of what it is.
They're also, they're also on the
But again,
website.
I will always
Sorry,
sign.
They're on the
document
website.
It's
that
on the
discusses-
website, or,
It is.
yeah,
It is
so
on the
people need to
website.
pay attention
It's
to
been there
what's
for
going on.
days.
Okay.
Oh, please, that bloody website's like a spider's net.
I agree, that's why we worked so hard to come up with another company to redesign, but
What's going on?
we have council people working on that. Jackie, we have an on-site district.
At a meeting held on October 8th, the town board scheduled a public hearing for the on-site district budget for the year 2024. All persons will now be heard.
Anyone have any questions about the on-site budget?
Does anybody know what on-site is?
What exactly is it?
Yeah,
Yes, so.
The on-site is a sewer district that's made up, it's outside the hamlet, it's made up of approximately
70?
178 properties where the town 40 years ago built systems, and so it's their own taxing district. Not all 178, actually, there may be more, I think that's how many systems we have built. I think there might be 220 altogether. And so the town maintains these systems.
is there a map of this? And tell me it's on the website, right?
Larry Allen would have a map, I mean, he
Chris,
handles our water.
You know what, I'm not sure if there is a map, I think there's just a list of SBLs, but I can look into that.
Contact the assessor's office tomorrow. Karen can get you a list of where they are, by the SBL.
We have a list, whether we have an actual map.
No, we don't.
I don't.
Yeah, list is a bit hard.
So,
Well, the parcel viewer is very good at looking up like SBL, so
Yeah.
if you want to research, the parcel viewer is very good, Ulster County. Parcel.
any questions about on-site budget? Going once, going twice? Okay. Where's the on-site district budget for the year 2025, $76,399, and where's the properties that have on-site systems pay for the operation and maintenance of their constructed systems? And whereas the public hearing was held on October 22nd, 2024, 7:10 PM at the Woodstock Town Offices, 45 Como Drive, Woodstock, New York, and via Zoom on this plan assessment role, therefore be it resolved to close the public hearing. Be it further resolved to finance the above costs for the on-site district in the following manner. $49,399 special O&M assessment on improved properties for Schedule B, $2,000 for interest on revenue, and $25,000 from unexpended fund balance.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah, you can get that to Noah, I got the last one.
More importantly, did you vote aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, we did. Yes, indeed.
Okay. Then a few more quick resolutions. Be it resolved to authorize the sale of salvaged roof, slate roofing as a fundraiser for the Como maintenance.
Second,
And this is a fundraiser that CSAC is engaging in.
and this is slate that came from this roof on
The
this
good
building.
pieces that have been left over,
And you
yes.
may not have noticed that we got a new roof, because it looks a lot like the previous.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved to waive the building permit fees for the Woodstock Library project at 10 Dixon Road.
Second discussion.
Discuss.
Now, we have to vote to waive these fees. If we vote no, then if enough of us vote no, we can't just waive the fees. The town board has to vote to waive these.
Oh,
fees,
yes,
Correct?
yes.
Then why did you unilaterally waive the fees at 10 Church Road?
Well, I didn't waive the fees. All in favor?
You never voted on them.
voted on it.
You didn't waive them.
They haven't been paid.
Well,
That's different from that.
just do the permit out, so now we're never getting paid.
So you shouldn't have waived. You shouldn't have said, well, make them up at the back end. That's what you said. Yeah, we'll make it up at the back end.
That's not waived though.
That's not waived. And actually, I do have a list of expenses that we will be charging that property owner.
Could you send that to me? I'll ask for that right now.
Okay. 7:15, yeah.
At a
Last
meeting held on October eighth, the town board scheduled a public hearing for the on-site district budget. Well, that's one, I'm sorry, that's one we just had.
Yeah,
Is that the
Hamlet,
one?
we're doing Hamlet, you're doing Hamlet.
I'm sorry, for the Hamlet Sewer District budget for the year 2025. All persons will now be heard, and I make a correction, I said 2024 on the other two, announcements, so I'll amend that to 2025.
Anyone have any questions about the?
Is the Hamlet district the same as the on-site district?
But no, there's
Yeah.
different districts. There's the line for Woodstock Water District is different from the line for Woodstock Sewer District, which is different from the list of properties that are on site. They all have their different reasons for being in those districts, and those properties are different.
So the hamlet is basically what surrounds the center of town here. And I believe there's 415 or 450, somewhere around there, hookups.
Yeah, and some properties needed water, but they didn't need sewer, and yeah, there are different reasons for the different, who's in and out of the different districts.
Any questions on the sewer? Going once, twice, okay. Whereas the Hamlet Sewer District budget for the year 2025 is $351,607, and whereas a public hearing was held on October 22nd, 2024. At 7:15 PM at Woodstock Town Offices, 45 Conwell Drive, Woodstock, New York, and via Zoom in this budget. Therefore, be it resolved to close the public hearing and be further resolved to finance the above cost to the Hamlet Sewer District in the following manner. $294,250 for metered sales. $31,500 for meter charge, $6,000 from interest on penalties, $3,000 from interest on revenue, $16,857 from unexpended fund balance. Be it further resolved to set a base $18 base fee for each meter for each quarterly reading. Be it further resolved that the user rate shall be $1.08 per 100 gallons. Be it further resolved the user rate should be effective beginning December 1st, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think we're on to public be heard. That one?
I have Alan Weber.
Mr. Weber.
Alan, please come stand over here.
Alan Weber. Alan.
Can you please come stand over here?
New mic system, so if you stand over there.
Thank you so much.
Phone to hear you.
Yeah, we're using the mic today off of the laptop.
You can just stand right here.
Okay, over here.
That's fine.
Perfect. Hold on, let me get my
I know.
timer on.
Okay, Alan Weber for Woodstockers United for Change. After a very successful town hall on our water situation, we are calling upon the supervisor and the town board to do the following. 1, source tracing and identification. Retain a qualified professional to conduct investigations to identify, regulate, and remove sources of PFOS contamination. 2, communicate. A schedule of testing dates and results should be posted in the easy to find section on the Town of Woodstock website. Regular updates on our water situation should be announced at town board meetings. 3, action plan. Develop a comprehensive plan for remediation. Funding for filtering and management of PFOS contamination. Establish long-term monitoring programs to track trends in PFOS levels and assess the effectiveness of mitigation efforts. And 4, health service access. Ensure access to health screenings and services for residents potentially affected by PFOS. Make available blood tests to measure levels of exposure to PFOS. These actions can help to ensure a proactive and transparent approach to safeguarding public health and environmental quality concerns, the PFAS contamination in our town water, concerning the PFAS contamination. We hope you will listen to the townspeople and show us you care about our health and safety by implementing these measures. Woodstockers United for Change, Alan Weber, Chris Bailey, Chris Finley, Linda Lover, Marcel Nagel, Stephanie Kaplan, and Vince Mount.
Thank you. We do expect the next test to be at the beginning of November. And it's about a month. So. Who's next, Jackie?
Stephanie Kaplan.
Stephanie?
Liver damage, thyroid disease, fertility issues, significant hormonal imbalances, cancers including testicular, breast, kidney, ovarian, endometrial, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, thyroid, childhood leukemia. These are just a selection of serious illnesses caused by PFAS. So while I stand firmly behind Alan Weber and my other compatriots and Woodstockers United for Change, I want more. Because I don't want an action plan, I want action. I don't want to wait for recommendations that you might get in 18 months that you can just go ahead and ignore, just like you're doing right now. I want action. What does action mean? It means clean up the toxic, poisonous, forever chemicals that are in our water right now. That our water is toxic is not my opinion. It is not some guess. It is based on science, based on our own water tests. This needs to be cleaned up now, and the technology exists to filter PFAS out of the water supply before it reaches our homes. Do that now. Don't wait. Now, I know based on the ridiculous standards set by the New York State Department of Health, you don't have to do a damn thing, which is historically up your alley. We only have to look at the problem in shady to know that that is true. I don't say this as a joke, folks. This is really serious. The DOH set their maximum contaminant levels at 10 parts per trillion. The EPA said there's 4 parts per trillion, which won't be enforceable until 2029. So your inaction in this significant matter will be the one time you will not be subjected to a lawsuit for failing to act, at least at levels that exist now. But you also know these contaminants, these maximum contaminant levels, which is the maximum levels of poison that we are expected to ingest before action is taken by a government, are not based on health concerns alone. Economics and politics are part of the equation. We know that from the experts. We know that from the EPA itself, who, while they set their MCL at 4 parts per trillion, tell us there are no safe levels of PFAS. End, stop, all over. Well, we are polluted now, and if you or your loved ones get other diseases or any of the diseases I mentioned caused by this poison, when you or they suffer, or you lose your job because of the illness, or you lose your health care, or you die, you don't care about economics, you don't care about politics, you just care about health. And the fact that the suffering could have been avoided had you acted when you could, if you had acted when you became aware. When the worst happens, MCL levels and politics and economics concerns are meaningless. Now, Bill, you get paid for this job and you gave yourself a raise. It is time to earn that and do your job, all of you, do your jobs and protect our health, do your jobs and clean up the water, and do your jobs and protect Woodstock now.
Perfect.
I can't read the first name. I think it's Janice Lamont. Sorry, I thought I'm gonna call you. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, good. I'm Janice Lamont. I'm the Program Director of Home Share Woodstock, and I first want to thank you for your support of our program for the past year. We're coming to you again to ask for your support with the allocation of additional American Rescue Plan funds for the coming year. I also want to mention that we are in the process of expanding to Kingston. The city of Kingston is supporting this expansion with their American Rescue Plan funds, and we hope that Woodstock will continue to support our efforts here in the area. I wanted to just give you a couple of figures about our progress over the past year. At the close of 2023, we had 5 matches benefiting 14 people. That was a 150% increase over 2022. At present, we have 10 active matches benefiting 23 people. That's double last year's. Half of these matches, 5, are in Woodstock, and also include several home sharers who also work in Woodstock. 3 of the 10 active matches have celebrated their 1-year anniversaries this summer, and 5 of those 10 matches will reach their 1-year anniversary at the end of this year. So not only are we continuing to increase the matches we're making, but we're making them sustainable. We are very excited with the progress that this program has had. We are creating immediate affordable housing for home seekers, allowing them to continue to live and work in their communities. We're keeping people in their homes. We're allowing seniors to age in place. And we're serving as a model for the state of New York being the first home sharing program outside of one in New York City. Also, this morning I received an email for a conversation that Susan and I will have with a reporter from the Washington Post, so our visibility is growing. I'd like to close by reading a letter of support that the board has received a couple letters of support, I believe. I'm not a citizen of the town of Woodstock, but I can certainly speak to the need for any creative solution that helps our older adults in the county be safer in their homes and be able to age in place longer. The Woodstock Home Share Program allows folks who own their homes to find creative ways to welcome someone in their home, either to help with income coming in, or to allow them to age in place longer with someone there who might have a more watchful eye. We are seeing firsthand in the Office for Aging that folks have few alternatives to affordable housing at this point, are sometimes being squeezed by landlords, or really have no place else to go, as there are wait lists for housing that can last up to 3 years. We are getting regular calls about unscrupulous landlords and issues with senior housing that we are not able to fix immediately or at all. We would appreciate any support for this program and others like it that may help our older adults in several different ways. Thank you for your consideration. Sue Copenhaver, Director of the Ulster County Office for Aging.
Thank you, Janet.
Thanks so much for your consideration.
Thank you. Fanny Hassan.
Go.
So I really want to thank you.
Oh.
That do it, you see?
Maybe I'll give you 4.
That you came to the TV station and
Yes.
you agreed to, do some development there. And I hope that there is something that we can do that the town meeting can really, transmit it from there.
Sounds like there was some good plans there, and I did just get the estimate, so I had a chance to
Oh,
look at
great.
it, yeah.
Great. That's one
Keep you
thing.
posted.
Okay, so the other thing is to, what's her name?
Jackie?
Jackie and you, I don't know who you told to fix the doors.
They're fixed? Jackie, thank you, Jackie. Put that in the minutes.
Well, and then, I still am, concerned about the flags.
Yeah,
There's,
that's right.
the American flags that they are there, I don't know why.
Thank you, Fanny.
Susan Goldman.
Hello. I'm gonna piggyback on Janice because I'm the volunteer coordinator for the home share program, which some of you may know and some of you may not. I wanted to specifically talk about the home units that you have created. We now have 5 in Woodstock. We have 10 overall. We have 5 in Woodstock at a cost to the town at this point of $35,000. That's a pretty cheap date. We've been able to cobble the rest together, Office for the Aging 1 year, we get a little bit from community foundations of the Hudson Valley, which is always welcome. The Kingston expansion is going to be funded there. Every ounce of visibility that we get brings us new applications. And when we get an application, it isn't just for one time. We've had a couple of matches end for various reasons. They stay in the program because the program has managed these things well, and the endings are amicable for various reasons. So these units of housing, while they may not be forever, they do stay in the program for a while. And so you might be creating these units of housing for 5 or 8 years apiece. before someone eventually sells their house or has to move or whatever. So I think it's a really good investment, and so that's $7,000 a unit. If you invest, again, with the American Rescue Plan funds, it will pretty much double that per unit. But we will be creating new units with that, so the cost will probably come down. We hope to at least double what we have in Woodstock, much less in the surrounding areas. It's not a solution for everyone, it's not the solution, but it does fulfill a need. Loneliness among seniors is the new smoking. It's a killer. And this is an opportunity for people to have someone come into their life, doesn't have to be their best friend, but there's a person around, a person helping them do things, helping them and keeping it, as Jess said, keeping an eye out. So it's a really helpful program. And we're getting, we have one of our sharers with us tonight, but we have really great feedback from both our providers and our seekers. And I just have one board member's comment. I think you might have gotten this letter, but I'm not sure. We could not have successfully launched Home Share Woodstock without the generous financial support of the town of Woodstock. Although the program started small, it's gradually gaining momentum and serves as a model program in the state of New York, and now we hear from the Washington Post. In many ways, Home Share Woodstock embodies the values of our town and addresses the increasing need to assist older residents to remain in their home while providing affordable living opportunities for those who work in Woodstock. We hope you'll continue this valuable, unique housing solution. Thank you for your consideration, Jamie Wolf, who is one of our advisory board members. Thank you.
Not a silver bullet, but I don't think there is a silver bullet for this problem. I think it's gonna take
I think it's gonna take a multitude of
everything,
things.
yes.
So
for
I
many
thought
different-
that we already, if we gave 35 to begin with, I thought that we already did.
They're looking for another 35 this year. We're just waiting to hear back. I want to commit all what we have left to the housing plight. We're just waiting to hear back from the possibility of doing a housing project in Woodstock and what that
Oh,
would
right,
cost.
before we do the final, but
Exactly.
we have to, but is it the end of this year, or we have to?
We have to have
Set-
the
have you had a plan?
amenity, yeah,
We have to have a plan, so it's pretty soon we have to have.
yes, yeah.
Yes, right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maureen, comments?
Maureen?
Right here. My name is Maureen Cummins, and I'm here to speak in support of the home share program and maybe to give a little bit of a personal story or face to the program. I've been in a home share situation for a year. I moved to Woodstock 9 years ago. I was in the middle of a divorce. It was financially difficult for me. I was struggling to maintain a household for the first time in 20 years by myself, with my son going to Ontario. COVID hit not long after that, and there's an interesting statistic that one of the arts organizations that gave me an emergency grant sent out, which was that they had polled several thousand of their artists who were on their list, and 90% of the artists had lost between 50 and 100% of their income. I lost 90% of my income. All the collectors, oh, and let me backtrack. I've been a working artist for 40 years. I haven't, up until COVID, I had not had another job besides that since my 20s. And even though my income was not huge, I was able to support myself. So I lost 90% of my income. All the collectors, their budgets were frozen, and all the print shops where I was working on my projects shut their doors. It was a really, really difficult time, and I actually thought about leaving Woodstock because there was nothing but Airbnbs. I was trying to move to a cheaper place. There were no rentals. It was just this impossible situation. And I actually was thinking of moving to Holyoke, Massachusetts. You know, I love this town. It's my favorite library. It's my favorite cafe. I have friends here. My son went to high school here, like, I love this place, and I turned to Family of Woodstock and to the home share program. I applied and I got in, and I've been living right in the center of Woodstock for the last year. And, you know, I wanted to speak because this is a town of artists, and I'm actually a working artist. Some artists who live here, they might be teaching, they might be doing something else. I'm kind of the ideal person to be living here, and it's so disturbing to me to think that it's so hard for someone like me to live here. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
Thank
Maria.
you.
Thank you. Last but not least, not sure if he's gonna sing for us tonight, but
Michael,
No song tonight, folks.
Michael, can you do me a favor? Could you stand there only because I think you're too close to the mic?
It's this, if you
Yeah.
turn that down.
Would you prefer if I stood
No,
outside?
no, 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 no.
No,
No, just.
you just have to turn that volume down.
Okay, go ahead and stand over there.
I hope you can hear me at home. This is a mic test from over here. This is a mic test from the middle of the room.
Yes,
Stay right there.
stay
come
right
over
there,
here.
right in the middle of the room.
First, I'd like to thank all of you who do show up for these meetings with a grasp of the facts, understanding the statistics of the town. This is homework that people that work for the town should do. Okay, you show up, you know what the issue is, you've read the interpersonal emails and asked each other questions, or at least most of you have, and then you get the business done. And I really do appreciate that, because we need to get business done so we can tackle these other larger problems. Okay, and all our time is eating up here asking, well, what was on page 3 of the thing? Well, you didn't read it? That's my profession. But what I did want to talk to you about as well is that I appreciate that Todd Development is getting acknowledged. I love that we have Levon Helms Boulevard. And those things actually do help the town's brand to some degree. People are talking about how hard it is to live here. As an artist, or an artist that works a second job in town, it's nearly impossible. We need the money that this comprehensive plan empowers us to open up this entertainment business here, so that, so that there is money for shopkeepers to hire those extra people. This is really important, and I'd like to see, while we have Lindsay Webster, who's bringing Great Plain back to her home internationally now. In 30 years, I'd like to hope that there's still an artist colony here, and that we still have, because those artists that are gonna bring the town's brand to the world, they're here now, and they're trying to stay, but the town is in this very difficult place where it's conflicted. And I just want to, again, say that we need jobs. And the comprehensive plan empowers us as a town to move forward in this area. So I'm just asking you once again to all consider that. And I thank you all for your time, and I hope the mics work.
Michael, I think you got there. I think we're gonna get there.
that's it.
We got. Wait. So, before I end the meeting, I just want to remind folks that, tomorrow at 3 o'clock at the Bearsville Center, we will be giving Todd the so I hope you all come out for that. It's been a while since Todd has been in Woodstock, and I'm looking forward to it. So, see you then. With that, move to adjourn.
Hold on, I'd like to do publicly heard.
We
I
had
didn't
it.
sign up for it, but I'd like
Yeah, I
to,
think we had it.
You're the 8th one.
oh, just got in, okay.
I wish you would sign up earlier, though,
Yeah.
so this way we know how the meeting's gonna flow.
Well, I wasn't gonna talk.
All right, Chris, you're.
It was something you said that's sparking me to talk.
Okay.
You mentioned a hostile environment. I wonder if you realize where this comes from.
Did you?
I mean, where it comes from is the fact that there are a lot of issues in this town that need dealing with, and we don't get support or communication from the town board on any of these. So yes, there is a shitload of anger in this town, and it's directed at you, because as far as we know, you're not doing anything for a lot of these issues. I mean, we've heard tonight that, well, you're gonna do quality testing on the PFAS, but you're not gonna go outside, you're not gonna do any source tracing.
All right,
And there are several issues like that. And so I just want you to know that if there were better communication, if you had more town halls to inform us on what you're doing, I think that the anger would dissipate. But, you know, you're gonna have to live with it until you do something like that.
yes, thank you.
Majority.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi, folks.